Hello, and
Welcome.
welcome to
Alternate
Fucking
Casuals.
What makes you
fucking
casual?
it don't matter.
What you know,
Fucking
As you no doubt have heard, Jon Jones has officially retired. Not before getting himself into some fucking trouble. He's facing the law for a hit and run incident that he had back in February. But that's a topic for another time. We couldn't get together as usual, so we're gonna do some call-ins here. So let's get right to it.
Alright, massive news just dropped. Dana White himself, after the Baku or UFC Baku card, announces that Jon Jones himself has called into the UFC saying he's going to retire, and Tom Aspinall has now been upgraded to full champion status. Well, it's sort of like a little bit of relief, just because we've been just like completely like tossed around ragdolled the past. I mean, it's been in the making like literally over a year, close to 2 years for this fight to happen. There was the whole issue or the whole delay with the Miocic fight. That got delayed because John got injured, and then we've been waiting since that for the Aspinall fight to be announced. And we've heard crickets until now. Dana White has continued to pull us along this entire time, saying he's 1,000% sure the fight's gonna happen. And then today he finally caved in, saying that it's not gonna happen. It's over. Jones retired. I'm sort of glad like we have clarity on the situation. Like I don't like that we're wasting away Aspinall's prime years here. He should be wrapping up title defenses at this point. I'm honestly gonna count some of his past fights as title defenses. I mean, defending the interim belt is sort of insane. But I'm glad he's been upgraded. We have clarity now. But I do gotta say, I'm gutted that we did not get this fight, man. That is now, we've missed out on Jones versus Aspinall. Jones versus Aspinall and Jones versus Ngannou. This is just insane. Heavyweight is a cursed division, man. It's just like super bittersweet. I'm glad Jones is finally stripped. I think in the coming days we'll see more details come out. There's no way Dana White's gonna be happy with Jones, especially like after all the talk that he was saying that he was sure Jones was gonna take it. I feel like there's probably gonna be some follow up in the coming days as this develops. But I'm glad he was actually stripped. I mean that's the best case scenario if he's not gonna take the fight. Now we just have to debate what is Aspinall's next fight. We have to leave the Jones fight in the past, unfortunately. It's not going to happen, but we need to move on. So now we have to debate what is going to be Aspinall's next fight. And I know we've talked about it in the past, but recently we were talking about how Pereira, what he was weighing at 243 on a post he made. I mean, that's well into the heavyweight division. He was looking very stocky. I think that might be the next fight to be made. AP is a global superstar. We know he has power. Takedowns are a little bit iffy there. I mean, he defended well against Anthony Rival. We don't know how well that carries over into heavyweight. But I think that's probably the biggest fight that they can make for Tom, and probably the biggest money fight as well at heavyweight at the moment. If it's not going to be AP, I'm probably going to have to say it's either going to be Gon or Volkov. Me personally, I think Volkov deserves it over Gon just because I thought he rightfully won over Gon whenever they fought. I believe it was in Paris. I thought Volkov got robbed in that fight, even though Gon got the victory. But we'll see what happens. It seems like Gon is probably a bigger star. Like he's more well known. Like in combat sports at this point, he's doing movies in France. But I think Volkov probably deserves over him. And then as far as like a wild pick, I don't think it's really possible. But if they can set aside pettiness, and I'm speaking like specifically about Dana White, if they can set aside pettiness and re-sign Francis Ngannou to the UFC. If they can make Ngannou versus Aspinall, that's a mega fight right there. I mean, Ngannou is massive star. He has, the spectacle. I mean, his body is just insane. Major pause there, but his body is insane. The power he has is crazy. And then versus this British star who has he has one of the shortest fight times in UFC, in the current UFC roster at the moment. I mean, that would be a mega fight if it happens, but I personally wouldn't bet on it. But I don't know. We're changing now. Hopium is changing now from Jones. But yeah, I hope the fight can be made. I'm hoping we can start to get Aspinall's career rolling along here. And yeah, let's pour one out. Let's all celebrate. Jones has finally been stripped. He is no longer holding up this division any longer. So I think that's a cause for celebration at the very least. But yeah, major news.
I have to say that the Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira, that fight has my interest 100% over the likes of Cyril Gane, the Volkov fight. Yeah, like we all know how shitty that was, how that decision was. And Volkov, do I really want to see that again? So, yep, I'm here for Tom Aspinall versus AP. Let's keep it going.
Well, the news has come down. Jon Jones has officially retired, and Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the world. Two major thoughts on this. First, on Jones himself. Sounds weird to lead with this, but his case for greatest of all time is still there, but it's primarily at the light heavyweight division. His resume is insane there. When we look back at his legacy, we can't just ignore what he's done there, but at the same time, it's hard to think about any other sport that has a quote-unquote GOAT as controversial as Jones, between the multiple failed drug tests, the injuries, and then at the end of his career, very suspect matchmaking. Right? His light heavyweight stuff is awesome, but at heavyweight, it's like a complete nothing burger of an attempt, right? He fights for a vacant title against Cyril Gane, who his legacy may end up being like French reality TV star, not MMA star. And then he fought Stipe Miocic, who is the greatest heavyweight of all time. He wins, but at the time he fights him, Stipe is 38 or even older. I think he was 40 at the time, and clearly past his prime. And if he does win that fight, but what does it mean when your opponent's that far out of the game, that far out of age? He hadn't fought since he got knocked out by Francis Ngannou a couple years before, and now he just, the way his career ends is in a press conference at a random fight night event in someplace with very few eyes on it, right? Like, people aren't tuning in to these fight night cards, especially given the matchmaking that's been happening lately. Most of the eyes have been drawn to stuff like International Fight Week that's coming up, or the big numbered pay-per-view events, so we can't even get an official changing of the guard there. It's like, random fight night event, oh, by the way, Jones is out, Tom is in. So, a very, very sad way to go out. It's good that Aspinall has been elevated, but it's really, it almost feels like, I can't say too little too late, but it is still very like what are we doing here? Like, could this not have been happened months ago? Do we have to keep Tom on ice this whole time? So, very disappointing on the Jones front. He still has, quite the legacy in the sport, but it's one that's going to be always marked by controversy, and especially this latest one. He's never going to get over this one. On the UFC side, kind of touching on what I just said, it's pretty shocking that they let it go this long, right? Tom Aspinall is your biggest name or one of your biggest names, especially in the higher weight classes. And they just keep him while he's in the prime of his career, sitting on the bench waiting for a fight that's not going to happen. I mean, it's complete mismanagement on their part. And they probably will recover. Arsenal will probably get a fight announced soon. But, I mean, that's time you're never going to get back. So, pretty shameful on both parts, both for Jones and for the UFC brass. But if there's any good news to come out of this, it's that the heavyweight division can be revived now. And we have a new champion that hopefully will stay a lot more active. And hopefully we can get, some fights going on up there. As far as it's been a wasteland. There's nothing's happened in that division for it feels like ages now. So those are my thoughts. We'll see, hopefully, next weekend after the Taporia fight, or maybe during, we'll get an announcement of Aspinall's return, and I hope he comes back soon. So we'll see.
So there you have it. It's worth telling that if you want to give your input on any situation, anytime it pops up, especially for like big time situations like this, 833-589-7637. It's an anonymous line. So if you don't give me a name, I don't know who you are. It just so happens that I recognize these two. You know what I'm saying? But 833 Lux Pods. You can text if you would prefer. Yeah, it's entirely up to you. But I would love to hear from you. Love to get input from more people. Keep up the social media shit. That's been fantastic lately. So much appreciated. We'll be back in a few days with the regularly scheduled program. See you then.